Hey everybody, this is Demon Sword. It's gonna take me a while to remember that name, I'm sorry. Okay, so you're probably looking at this like, wow, that's a cool sword. This is actually a fantasy katana, man, somebody slap me, I'm tired right now. This is actually a fantasy sword developed by Kit-Ray. I have 3 of these. I have War, Light, and Earth. Never really wanted to get the other ones. The ones I have are 2 are somewhat functional. Or one's functional, one's somewhat functional, the other is is a wall piece. Okay, so you're looking at this like, wow, the lasering looks nice. Let's see, Kit-Ray. And if you're wondering what it says, stainless steel Kit-Ray number 6. That's the serial number. I actually have one of the really old Lucindars. Or I'm sorry, Anthros. Or whatever you want to call it. It's a very wicked looking sword, and I have to say, out of all the fantasy blades I've played with and stuff, out of all of them, this one actually has good balance. It's functional. I mean, I actually use this for Renfair jousting. Yes, I had to get a custom sheath for it, because sadly none of the Kit-Ray swords actually come with sheaths. Don't ask me why. Now, there is no edge to this blade, but for blocking, it works. I will actually say that. So, for a sword that looks cool for Renfair or just a wall piece, that is functional, this sword works. And by the way, this is gonna freak me out. Watch this. You're like, what? Yep. The guard points actually adjust. That blew my mind when I got this sword. And I've had this for quite a long time. This is number 6 in serial numbers, so think of that, people. I mean, everything on this is actually stainless steel and resin cast. So, I mean, if you check this out, everything is pretty well detailed. The chain grip is actually real. It actually does work. I mean, I've never had to clean this sword past the point of, you know, moderation. It is a beautiful sword. It is actually functional, and I think the price is like 100 something. I got this on sale for 70 bucks. I'm pretty good about finding deals. I mean, it looks good, but the whole blade is stainless steel. It actually is forged somewhat correctly, given that it's pretty flexible. It can bend. It is functional. I will say that. Now I would have to sharpen the bloody edge off, but you know, sharpen this up. This has no edge, even without an edge. The purpose of a medieval European-style sword, even without an edge, this blade can still do serious damage. I mean, even with it has somewhat of a little edge, but I can feel a little bite. But that's all you need. The weight of the blade coming down in a chopping motion, whereas this type, you need to put it along the... This is a more standoff blade. You're going to have a little more distance between you and your opponent. This is meant for thrust, parry, chop. Thrust, parry, chop. With this one, you can, and because of these, you can actually use these to your advantage. Like, I've been kind of a jerk with those little things. When parrying, I catch him with this, and then I usually keep it like that. Send them there, and then with the flick of your wrist, you can actually wick these out. They go, whoosh, and the guy's like, what the hell? And you just fling his sword off, and then you can get him. But I digress. It's fun. This is a very fun sword to play with. When I was younger, I could hold it no problem two-handed. Now I can actually hold it one-handed. I got this when I was like pretty young, I would say. Well, I've always had bladed objects on my parents. I wouldn't give a kid this for the most part, but if your kid is more experienced than some adults, okay, then I'm not gonna go there. I've dealt with blades, guns, knives, rifles. I mean, you name it, I've played with it. Tanks, yes, been on a tank before. My buddy actually is in the military as a tank. Don't ask me why he's got a tank, but he does. So, I mean, besides the fact that it's functional, it's readily available, and if you're not into the katanas, a lot of people are, but there is some people who, you know, want to stay legit and toward the original European style swords. Fantasy swords are fine. You just have to find one that's actually functional. Most aren't, I will say. Some of the ones from Lord of the Rings are made to be functional, and this one is. But I've got 3 swords from Kit Ray, and out of all of them, this is the only one I find that is actually functional. I can actually use this in combat. I've talked about stainless steel before and other swords saying it has its perks. Stainless steel is heavy, and it has a lot of the same qualities as titanium. If you're wondering why we use it a lot in today's society, that's why, by the way. Stainless steel has a lot of the same qualities as titanium. The downside to stainless steel is it's very heavy, and I mean the weight. I mean, this sword, it's taken quite a bit to pick it up to do this. Now in my hand, it's actually pretty, you know, just when you're holding it in the proper place. But this thing's balance is like right about there. Yeah, about there. It's pretty well balanced. That's why I'm recommending it. If you want a sword that's well balanced, looks cool, and is a fantasy sword that readily will freak people out, because it does have these cute little guard points. I love this sword. It's one of my favorites. So, anyway, I'm planning to actually start working in a twin sword style with one of my katanas, and I'll get onto that in the next video. So, Demon Sword out.